Hello everybody, happy Inktober. I'm so excited to be participating in this challenge. Last year I had a lot of fun with it. So today is October 1st and the prompt is fish. So I did this sketch about a month ago probably. This year I definitely prepared a lot more than I did last year. I think I have more than half of the sketches done. I did the sketch for this piece in Procreate, and especially when there's like two main things going on, like in this one there's the girl and the fish, I did them in two separate documents and then combine them afterwards. So after I do the sketch, I'll print it out and trace it. Maybe I'll do a second draft of the sketch. In this case I did because there were some things that I wanted to fine-tune before I did the final tracing onto the watercolor paper. So for the whole month I'm going to be using this Fluid 100 cold press watercolor paper, the size 11 by 14 cut in half. So I'll just use my light board and tape it down and trace it with just a regular mechanical pencil. When I do watercolor pieces, I'll use a red colored pencil, but it's not as erasable. So when I'm doing ink, I'm not as worried about having to erase the paper because I'm not going to be putting like a whole bunch of layers of water and paint on it. I'm just going to be doing some pretty straightforward ink washes. So when I'm doing just an all ink illustration, I tend towards just a regular mechanical graphite pencil instead of the colored pencil. So once I have the pencil sketch all done, I'll go in with a uni pin fine liner in size 0.1. I really like these fine liners. I just found them recently. They're waterproof and the 0.1 just is a good size in my opinion for the line art. I think this month I'll probably go back and forth between using fine liners and fountain pens because I do really like using fountain pens. Just for some reason I worry about being able to control the line as much, and I was already nervous for my first Inktober piece. I was like, I'll just use a fine liner because I feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more control with that. So I put a little disclaimer in the description of my last video when I did a tour of my Inktober 2019 drawings, and basically I just wanted to repeat it one more time because I think it's worth mentioning. So Inktober holds a lot of personal significance to me. When I first started getting interested in art and actually making and sharing art was in October 2 years ago, and I was seeing all of these artists participating in the challenge and I thought it was so amazing and it looked so fun, but I was nowhere near ready to do something like that. So a year after that, in 2019, I participated for the first time, and really I just fell in love with the whole community and kind of that feeling of connection with other artists, where a lot of people are using the same prompts and sharing them, and it was just really fun, and I learned so much from drawing every day and making time to draw even when I was working. And so I've been looking forward to doing it again this year, and I'm not working, and so I knew that I would have a lot more time. And so anyway, I would just want to address the fact that I know that there is controversy surrounding the creator of Inktober, Jake Parker, involving him possibly plagiarizing from another artist. I've looked into it a little bit. I know the basics. I know that there are, many sides to whatever controversy is going on. I don't, of course, endorse plagiarism or stealing from other artists, but I'm participating in the Inktober challenge and using the original prompt list, not as a showing of support for Jake Parker necessarily, but just because I didn't really have another prompt list to use and I wanted to do one that a lot of people would also be doing. So I just wanted to say that. Also, just to talk a little bit about kind of my personal goals for the month. Looking back at my art from last year, this year I definitely want to do ink pieces that are 100% ink and don't have any watercolor. I want them to be a little bit more complex, not anything super crazy, but at least have more detail and more elements. Because last year I felt like mine were really simple and I was playing it safe a lot of the time. So I just want to push myself a little bit more and, kind of draw things that are outside of my comfort zone and more detail, and maybe in future prompts, more background elements. I also want to work on contrast because outside of October, I don't do monochrome art. I don't just paint in black and white. So it's challenging for me to have contrast when I'm just using ink and different shades of blacks and grays. Just to kind of make the art more interesting by pushing those values, the darks and lights, a little bit more. So I felt overall in this first piece that I really liked the sketch. It was simple, but had enough elements and details to make it interesting. I guess I was kind of playing it safe because it's day one and I don't want to take on anything too ambitious. I liked how it turned out. I think contrast was definitely something I was struggling with throughout the process. I just didn't want everything to blend together into just different shades of gray. So I tried to really push the dark spots in the background so that the fish and the character would stand out a little bit more. Doing Inktober is such a unique madness. It's such a fun community on social media, and just like, it's a challenging thing to draw 31 drawings in a month, and you know, everybody kind of does it their own different ways, and it just feels like this shared experience between artists all over the world. So I'm so stoked to be doing it and to be sharing my process on YouTube. And so yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you're participating in Inktober, or what prompt list you're following. What are your goals for yourself? I will be back with another video next week. More Inktober on the way. Bye!